My name is Ella, and I'm the host of the Mahogany Bronze Hour, Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on DJ Pun's Underground Radio. Tune in.
Mahogany Brown, yeah, I seen you around, a cappuccino, amigo, this is how we go.
Welcome to the Mahogany Bronze Hour, and I'm your host, Mahogany Bronze. Happy New Year to you guys. How was your New Year? How was all of that? I know you guys are probably getting all those New Year's resolutions together. Well, listen, before, we started the new year, I talked to you guys about different attitudes and stuff like that. You guys remember, if you didn't tune in, we were talking about attitudes that we may need to change to go into the new year. Well, listen, I just want to tell you this week on the broadcast, we're going to talk about some real life stories that are going on. I'm actually in Monroeville, Alabama, and I'm on location, and I'm interviewing people this week to tell their true stories. Get the new year started off right, helping someone else. Let me ask you a question. How many of you listening to this broadcast have actually lost a child? Listen, from what I hear, there is nothing in this world like losing a child. Now, I am here on location in my hometown, and I'm with Felicia Montgomery, and she lost her son. It's been almost 2 years, but I want you to hear her story from the moment she received the news that her son was killed up until now, how it has affected her family. So if you're listening to this broadcast and you know a mother who may have gone through this or is going through something like this, tune into the broadcast. After the break, you'll hear from Felicia, and she's going to share with us what it's like to actually lose a son. Let me tell you, heartbreaking, but that's all coming up next on the Mahogany Bronze Hour here on DJ Pun's Underground Radio. We'll be right back.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Damn, who knew? All the planes we flew, good things we've been through, that I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see you in a better place. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way, from where we began.
We started.
Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
Tell you.
When I see you again.
Welcome back to the Mahogany Bronze Hour, and I'm your host, Mahogany Bronze. Listen, guys, Happy New Year to everyone. I hope that you had a wonderful time over the holidays and that you're ready to get going, with those New Year's resolutions and everything. Well, listen, I am in the broadcast today. I'm here in Monroeville, Alabama. I'm on location, and I'm sitting here with my girl, Felicia Montgomery. And Felicia, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Mahogany Bronze Hour.
Hello, everyone.
Well, thank you,
Ella.
Thank you so much for coming on today. I think what you're doing today is going to be so awesome because you're going to help all of the viewers. You're going to help them heal because of what you went through. Now, Felicia is going to talk to us today and share her story with us. She lost her son, Tyreek, almost 2 years ago. He was shot and killed. And it's her story is just going to really bless those of you. If you're listening to this broadcast and you've lost a son or a nephew or a cousin or something, this will help you. And I just want to thank you, Felicia, first of all, for coming onto the broadcast to share your story with everyone. I know that the pain is still real, so I do appreciate it. But we're going to talk to you today about your son and how you've coped with his loss. First of all, talk to us about Tyreek. Tell us about him. What kind of child was he?
Tyreek was very smart. He was a very loving child.
Yeah. Let's talk about his childhood when he was a little boy. What kinds of things did he like to do? Did he like to play with toys and trucks and all that like most little boys do?
Yes, all the normal things that a child did, he did as well. He loved to play basketball and just really hang out with his older brother.
Wow. Anton. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how many kids do you have?
I have 3 boys and 1 girl.
How old was Tyreek when he passed away?
He was 18.
18 years old. Mm-hmm. How old are the other kids?
My oldest son is 23 years old. That's Anton. And Nunu is the girl. She's 12. And TJ is my other son, and he's 11.
Okay. Now, Tyreek, it was raised by you and his dad. And I know he has a stepdad and a granddad, and he has all kinds of support in his family, which I think is so important. We want to give all of them a shout out because you know that old saying, that African saying that it takes more than one to raise, it takes a village to raise a child. I truly believe in that. And Tyreek had that. He really did. Now tell us a little bit more about him. You said he likes to play basketball. Did he play on the basketball team at school?
Yes, he did.
He did. What was his position?
I think he was a point guard.
Point guard, yes. I can see him being a point guard. He was kind of tall, actually.
Yes.
He was actually a very handsome young man. Did you have problems with the girls? Yeah, probably a little bit.
He called himself a Mac Daddy.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh, but he was definitely adorable. He was definitely an adorable young man. But let's talk a little bit more about what he liked to do. I want our viewers to listen, that are listening, to really get to know Tyreek. What kinds of things, what kind of music did he listen to?
He listened to a lot of rap.
A lot of rap.
And okay. I think he kind of symbolized some of the rappers. And I think most young kids do that nowadays. Mm-hmm. With all the chains and the different stuff and the money that they show.
Yeah. And that's very typical. I really personally don't see anything wrong there because when we were growing up, we loved New Edition. We loved these guys. We wore their T-shirts. You know, I thought I was Michael Jackson because I had the Jerry curl, pulled a little hair down in the front. I mean, you know, I had the Michael Jackson jacket. So it's nothing. They're not doing anything differently than what we did.
Right.
You know, we have to remember that. But let's get to, you know, I want to talk a little bit more about Tyreek. What was he like with his friends? He had some really good friends.
He did.
Yeah.
He was really close with his friends. They loved Tyreek.
Yeah. And his family. I noticed that your family is very close. Where does that come from?
From a strong belief in God, trust in God.
Yeah.
And we always have been a close-knit family on my mother's side and on my father's side.
Yeah. I could tell because I was, you know, fortunate enough to be at the funeral, and I saw the love, the outpouring of love from his friends and just people that knew him. It was just incredible. How do you draw from that? When you see that, does that help you as a mom? When you see people loving your son the way they love Tyreek, did that help? Does that help?
It does.
It does, yeah. Because it feels like you have a community of people. He wasn't out there by himself. Now let's talk a little bit about what kinds of things he did as a teenager. What kinds of stuff was he starting to do? Is it normal teenager things, hanging out with his friends?
Hanging out with his friends.
Yeah.
And different stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit about some of his friends. I mean, do they still come around, those friends that he has?
Yes.
They still come
his
around?
His closest friends that used to be at my house every day. I had to run them home. They still come around.
They still come around.
Come see me. Or they would call me, ask me how I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, am I fine? Do I need anything? So he did have a certain, you know, group of friends that was there every day, and they still there, and that means a lot to me.
Now, did he spend a lot of time with his father also?
Yes, he did.
Because he had a father and stepfather, and we want to give them a shout out. We're not trying to miss out on those. I know sometimes you guys think, they just talk to the women. No, I want to give a shout out to all of the men that were in his life, which were Keith Stallworth, his grandfather.
Right.
His dad, what's his dad's name?
Nicholas Finkley.
Nicholas. Hi, Nicholas. So good to... your son was just wonderful. So we want to give you a shout out. And his stepdad?
Travis Boykin.
Travis Boykin, right? We want to make sure all of you know how important, because, you know, growing up now, we see so many teenagers that really tear away from that man in their life. And some of them go through life not knowing what it's like to be a man. But Tyreek was well on his way with that. That was not an issue for him. He was very close to his fathers. Now, when we come back after the break, we're going to talk a little bit about Tyreek and where he started making this turn, because as teenagers they all get into stuff, they all experience things, and we want to share, you know, Felicia wants to share that because a lot of families are in denial about, these things. And it's good to know, and it's good to talk about it because you want to recognize these behaviors in your children. So we're going to share some of that with you when we come back after the break. There's more coming up here with Felicia Montgomery in Monroeville, Alabama, and we're talking about her son, Tyreek. 4's up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
You were my sister, my strength, and my pride. Only God may know why. Still, I will get by. Who would have known that you'd have to go so suddenly, so fast? Not a sweet memories would be all that we have planned. Now that you're gone, every day I go on, but life's just not the same. I'm so empty inside, and my tears I can't hide, but I'll try to face the pain, though I'm missing you. I'll find a way to get through.
Welcome back to the Mahogany Bronze Hour. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the broadcast today. I'm sitting here with my girl, Felicia Montgomery. I'm on location in Monroeville, Alabama. And today on the broadcast, we're talking about a mom. Felicia Montgomery's a mom who lost her son, Tyreek, almost 2 years ago. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you're here with me today. Now, before the broadcast, before the break, we were talking about how sometimes teenagers tend to make some bad decisions and kind of get into some trouble. You were starting to notice that Tyreek was making some not so good decisions. Talk to me about that.
Yes, Tyreek just made a poor choice of taking some drugs to school.
Okay.
And he was caught with them, and he was expelled from school.
Had he ever been in trouble before, or was that the first and only time that he ever got in trouble at school?
That was the first and only time that he had got into any trouble to that extent.
Right. So they expelled him. Now, when you get expelled, that means you can no longer go back to school.
You can't.
You cannot.
He was expelled from every school in his in the county, surrounding counties.
Okay.
Until a year.
Now, listen, I think the purpose of talking about this to all of your viewers is because some of you right now have children that may be going through something right now. Remember, I said the purpose of this broadcast is to help other people. And that's why I love Felicia, because she's sharing these intimate details about her son to help someone else that may be going through these same types of things with their children. Now, we love, come on, people that are listening, we love to put kids down when they make bad decisions. Because I don't like to do that, because I know that we all make bad decisions. I am the queen of making bad decisions as a teenager. But Tyreek made some bad decisions. But what's more importantly is, what did he do to turn it around? Now he's expelled. Now what, Felicia? What happens next?
He told me, he was like, Mom, I want to finish school. And he was so hurt because he knows that he wasn't going to finish with his class.
Okay, because he was expelled.
Because he was expelled, and his class was going to be graduating without him. So he decided to go to the college, where we live at, and get his GED.
Okay. Now, he went in to get the GED. What led up to that? He just eventually said, you know what? I don't want to just stop there. I want to graduate, because I know that he was so big on making you proud. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's very key, for a young man to have all of these other things that were impressionable upon him. He was still trying to make his mother impress. He was still trying to impress his mom and do the right thing. That's so important. He was trying to do the right thing. So he ended up going to the college, getting his GED, and then what?
It took him only 3 months to get his GED, and he was so excited because he was going to be graduating before his class.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. What kinds of grades was it a challenge for him? Because we're talking about a kid that was expelled for drugs, but he was smart.
Very smart.
That's very key because he had something to work with, and of course, I'm sure with his praying grandmom and granddad and you and his dads, that you guys gave him the support he needed. And he got his GED, and then what did Tariq do?
He started college.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Local junior college here?
Yes.
Wow. And how was that going for him?
It was going well because he was taking up wanting to be a nurse.
What?
He was like, Mom.
I had no idea he wanted to be a nurse.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, he would have been, I could see, I'm sorry, Mom, but I'm just going to be honest. I could see him being this nurse on television. He was just really a good looking kid. So he was studying to be a nurse. I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's interesting. Okay, and then what happened after that? He's in college now.
He's in college. He's going to school. But he was wanting to hang out with his friends quite often.
And that's normal.
And I used to want to get onto him all the time. I was like, you need to study. You need to be at home.
Right.
Not hanging out all the time on the
weekends. How did he feel about that?
He didn't want to hear it.
Yeah, of course.
He didn't want to hear anything I had to say.
He was trying to convince you, Mom, it's cool. I got it. They're good guys. But you knew a lot of his friends. They came over to the house a lot. Yeah,
I did.
So did he change at all, or he continued with his behavior, just hanging out? How was did his grades suffer?
His
as
grades
a result?
didn't suffer at all.
Wow.
He maintained good grades up until the end.
Wow. So he was still in school.
Yes.
Was he working at the time?
And he was working.
He was working.
And I must say he was an entrepreneur.
Really?
Because he just loved to sell stuff all the time. He was like, Mom finna go and we finna make us some money. Okay. We finna sell us some candy.
Okay.
And we finna make some money.
I think that's important because now the reason I really want the audience to take a note to this, because you're talking about a young man that was expelled from high school that could have stopped right there. He could have become a statistic. He could have said, you know what, to heck with this. I'm just going to drop out. Who cares about education? And you know how we like to talk. We don't need all of that stuff anyway. That's the biggest lie. Education is always very good. But he himself, I don't think you encouraged him to get his GED. He came to you with that. Right. Okay. And which tells me about this young man is that he wanted better in life and he didn't give up. So he gets his GED. He's going to school, working as a nurse, but he's hanging out with the friends. Now, was he starting to change any of the things that he was doing? Was his, how we teach our kids certain things? Did you notice any of those values start to suffer as a result of hanging out with his friends all the time?
Yes, because at our church on first and third Sundays, if I'm off work, we're going to church. Right. So he no longer wanted to attend church with us anymore.
Okay. Do you know why that is? Why didn't he want to go to church?
I don't know. I believe it was just his peers.
Yeah.
They hardly went to church, so he just wanted to just do what, they was all doing the same things.
Now, for you parents that are listening to this, I want you to know something. This doesn't really have a reflection on you because kids make decisions. We all did as teenagers. We think we know more. I saw a bumper sticker one time. If you want to know anything, ask a teenager. They know everything, And I don't think that's a reflection on you or your husband or your or his father or his grandfather, or any of the people in his life, because he just wanted to do what he wanted to do. Now, when we come back after the break, we're going to talk a little bit about what led up to that day when you received that call about Tariq had been shot. You think you can do that?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, guys, listen, don't go anywhere. That's all coming up next right here on DJ Pun's Underground Radio, the Mahogany Bronze Hour. We'll be right back.
How do I say goodbye to what we had? The good time that made us laugh, I'll wait them back. I thought we'd get to see forever, but forever's gone away. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. I don't know where this road is going to lead. All I know is where we've been and what we've been through. If we get to see tomorrow, I hope it's worth all the wait. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
Welcome back to the Mahogany Bronze Hour. If you're just tuning into the broadcast today, I'm on location in Monroeville, Alabama, and I'm sitting here with my girl Felicia Montgomery, and she's blessing us today with her story about what it feels like to lose a son. Her son was shot and killed almost 2 years ago, and she's here today sharing her story with us. Now, before the break, we were talking about Tyreek. He's now in school. He's actually in his GED. Now, what happens after he's in school and he's at the end of the GED class? What happens?
Kadarius graduates from his GED class, the top of his class, with honors.
Wow, that is incredible. I know you guys were very excited about that.
Yes.
Yes, I can only imagine, because as a parent, you love their accomplishment. For me, as if I were his parent, I would be very excited about the fact that he didn't allow anything to stop him. And you and all of the people that have a hand in raising him should be very excited about that, because he didn't give up. He could have become a statistic. You know that, Mom. He could have just said, you know what, to heck with school. I'll just get my money and I don't need a degree. But he didn't. He wanted to accomplish something.
Right.
And he did. And he was the best at it.
Right.
The fact that he graduated at the top of his class means that he was at the best level. Okay? So what did he do after he graduated with the from GED class?
Well, after he graduated, he went on to attend the junior college here where we live.
Nice.
He wanted to take up nursing.
Nursing. Oh my goodness, I had no idea. Nursing? Which one was it? The LP, just basic nurse? Which one?
LPN.
LPN.
Yes.
Okay. So he was studying to be a licensed practitioner nurse.
Yes.
Okay. That's incredible. And then now what happened? How's he doing in college? How's that doing for him?
He was doing well. He went his first semester, but in his second semester, he just wanted to. He told me, he was like, I want to work. And he asked me, Mom, how do you feel about me just working right now and not going to school, but I'm going back?
Right. So he wanted to just take a break from college right now.
Did.
Just to kind of get him and make some money.
Right.
All right. So is this when you start noticing him changing?
Yes.
In what way?
Well, he wanted to start hanging out more with his friends.
Which is probably why he wanted to take the break
to
from
take
school.
a break from school. And he was working, and he was working at McDonald's.
Okay.
That's where he started working at.
Right.
And after he left McDonald's, he went on to work for Vanity Fair.
Okay. Nice. But now, what did you see changing about Katie? What was starting to happen with him now?
Well, I know that he was hanging out a lot with his friends. And
were they getting in trouble, or they just hanging out, or what was the problem?
They was just hanging out, making music, making videos and stuff.
So he was still being productive?
Yes.
Somewhat. Okay.
Just being a typical teenager.
Typical teenager. Did he get in any trouble? Was there any trouble?
Well, actually, Kadarius loved guns.
Okay.
He loved guns. He just was fascinated with guns.
Now I understand when he was shot and killed, that was probably one of the biggest things that were talked about, is that he was on Facebook with a gun or something.
Right.
Talk to people about that, because I know there's a lot of people listening to this broadcast who has an opinion about that, but I want you to hear it straight from his mom. What did all of that really mean?
It just means that this was his thing. This what he loved, and I respected Kadarius for that. I mean, he had a right to love what he loved.
Right.
He didn't go and try to, do anything bad with them, or try to go and rob people,
right.
or, just out there, pointing a gun and being in the streets with it. That was just something that he loved.
Right, just like guns. But he never used it.
No,
he just liked to have them, and he just liked to show them off, like most teenagers.
Right, and that was it.
So what do you have to say about people that had an opinion about that?
Well, to be honest, I did hear a lot of stuff that people were saying. But if anybody that knows me, they know that I really don't care about the opinion of others. No. I don't care what people say.
Girl, that's a whole different broadcast right there. Opinions of others? Yes, I'll bring you back for that particular broadcast. So I can concur with you on that, as far as, you can't really worry about what people think, because people don't really know. They see what they see, and you don't really know the whole story. That's why I wanted to bring you on, so you could talk about that. Anything else you want to say about that before we move on to something else?
Well, I know that he was a very respectful child, and people are going to say what they want to say and believe what they want to believe. But anybody who knew him knew that, he was well-mannered.
Right.
And that he wouldn't hurt anybody.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, listen, we're going to talk a little bit about that. After the break, we're going to talk to Felicia about that dreadful day when you heard the news about Tyreek. That was on what day?
June the 2nd.
June the 2nd, when you got that call. So we're going to talk about that when we come back after the break, because this is a call that no parent, grandmother, sister, brother, uncle, aunt wants to get about their loved one being shot and killed. And Felicia's going to take us back and relive that day for us, of what it was like when she found out that Tyreek was shot. That's all coming up right here on DJ Pun's Underground Radio. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the broadcast. Well, I'm here today with Felicia Montgomery. She's my girl from Monroeville, and I'm here on location. Yes, I am here all week, and I'm talking to Felicia today. She's sharing her story about her son, Tyreek, who was shot and killed June 2017. And no parent wants to lose a child, but she so bravely and with courage is here today to share her story. Now, Felicia, we're going to talk about that day. I want to take you back. June 2nd, 2017. Typical day, right?
Right.
What were you doing all day?
I was working.
You were working that day?
I was working. I got off work at 5 o'clock that evening.
Okay.
And Kadarius had called me. And he was like, Mom, where you at?
Okay.
He had been, which he'll call me every day, because he'd be like, Mom, what we eating tonight? Yeah. What you cooking? Because he loved to eat.
Oh, yeah.
So he
Most
always
kids do. They
me,
have all that energy. Yeah.
And he always texts me. So that day was like a normal day.
Okay.
I came home from work that evening. Mm-hmm. I picked up my youngest 2 kids. Okay. And we went over to one of my aunt's house, because one of her sons had came home from Georgia. And they called me and said, Felicia, come over here. And every time I get with my family, we always have a couple drinks.
Right.
We always have fun. That's how we relax,
Yes.
The work day is over with.
Right, right.
So I went over there, and I was over there with them, and we was having a good time. And that was the last time I actually talked to Kadarius, because he called me.
He called you while you were there. And he said he was just checking to see if you had cooked, what was for dinner.
Yeah, right. He was calling, and he wanted to know where I was, and he wanted to come by there. So I said, okay. And I told him, come on where I was at. And he came over.
So you gave him a hug, just typical meeting. He's just like, hey, Mom. And then he told you he was going to leave and go out?
Well, actually, he was with 2 of his friends when he came there. He was with his friends.
Okay.
Because they always be together on the weekend anyway.
Right.
And he did something very unusual.
What was that?
When he came inside, he was always smiling, because that's all he did was smile. Right. But he bear hugged me. I'm sitting on the sofa, and he just bear hugged me on the sofa, put his arms around me.
Wow. And you didn't think...
And said, I love you, Ma. I was kind of shocked because I was like, Kadar, what you doing hugging me like this?
That, yeah.
You
know? That happens a lot. You know, kids do something out of the ordinary, and you're like, what was that for?
Yeah.
Right. And so after he gave you a hug, he left.
He did. He left.
Okay. And then what happened?
And maybe like 15 minutes later, you know, me and my kids, we went home. I was actually in the shower when it was a knock on the door.
Okay.
And I was like, you know, no, TJ, see who's at the door. You don't open it, but see who's there. And it was one of his friends, a girl. She came and she was like, Miss Felicia, Kadarius just got shot. She was like, do you need a ride? And I was like, huh? Because I was trying to like grasp what she was saying. And I was like, no. She told me where he was at. So I was like, I'm coming. So I hurried, threw me some clothes on, and I went. And when I made it to the parking lot, it was just so many people there, you know, in the parking lot. And I was like, oh my God, what is happening? Is this a dream, or is this, what is going on?
Imagine. Now, at that moment when she said that he was shot, what was the first thing that went through your mind?
My heart dropped. And I just said, my baby's dead. My baby's gone. Even though she didn't tell you that. She didn't tell me that, but she said that he was shot, and it just was a sunken feeling. Yeah. You know? It's almost, because I can imagine as a mom, you carried him for 9 months. So if he has stopped breathing, you'll feel it first. Right. Yeah. And it was so unreal. It was so unreal. So you made it there, and there's a lot of, were the police there? Yes, the police was already on the scene. Yeah. And an ambulance. But my child was still laying on the ground. So you got a chance to see him? Yes. Now describe that moment. I know this is very difficult. And you can definitely stop whenever you want to, but describe that moment that you saw him on the ground. Well, I was hysterical. And I was just yelling and screaming. Right. And I was like, KD, get up. Right. Why are you still laying there, KD? Get up. Right. And he wasn't moving. And was he covered? What was going on? No, he wasn't covered. He was just laying there on the ground. Wow. They wouldn't let me touch my child. They wouldn't let me pick him up. Wow. And everybody was saying, that's his mom. But they wouldn't let me touch him. And I was screaming, Kadarius, please just get up. Say something to me. Right. Well, we're going to take a break right here. And when we come back, we're going to talk about KD's group, MOB. We're going to talk about them and just how loyal he was to that group. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And we're back, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the broadcast today. Now, Felicia, talk to me about Kadarius. I mean, he was so loyal to his friends. What did they call themselves? They call themselves the Mob. The Mob. What did that mean? Mob stood for Money-Oriented Brotherhood. Money-Oriented Brotherhood, meaning brothers that like to get that money. Chase that money, right. But now we talk about that, but I want you guys to understand these guys were entrepreneurs. They weren't chasing drugs and selling drugs. That's not what this was all about. They each all had talents. They had talents, and they pursued those talents, with KD being the lead. You know, the thing I love about your son is that he was a leader. He was a leader, and these kids look up to him. What was the organization about? What did you see come out of them? All they wanted to do was get a job, make money, or either rap. They just love to rap and make videos. Music. Okay. Yes. Wonderful, wonderful. But they weren't about foolishness. No. You know, so those people that like to point fingers and say, Mob, what kind of name is that? It was not a negative thing. It was a positive, money-oriented brotherhood. That means that these were brothers that were working to help each other make money. Mind you, at the time, as a matter of fact, KD was actually getting ready to start a new job. You know, he's taking a break from college and he's getting ready to start a new job. So he recognized the value of making money. Now, you know, before we get out of here, Felicia, I want you to tell me, first of all, I want to thank you. I really, really want to thank you so much for
being brave and showing courage today by being on this broadcast. I know it wasn't easy to sit here and talk about your baby in this way. But what would you say to a mother that's listening to this broadcast right now who has lost a son or a nephew or a cousin or something to this violence that's going on in America today? What would you say to them right now?
I would tell them to stay encouraged, stay in God, and just stay open to your family and your friends, and just be encouraged.
Be encouraged. I like that. You know, because with everything around us, for those of you that are listening to this broadcast, with everything around us, it's so easy for us to forget what it's like. But Felicia so bravely shared her story with you today because she really wants to help others. And that's what Katie would want. I believe that that's what Katie would want. I believe you believe that too. That's
Yes.
what Katie would want from you right now, is to help other people that are hurting. And that's what this broadcast was about today. So for those of you that have tuned in to the broadcast today, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Felicia, for being here today to talk about your loss. And we just pray that everything gets easier. And it will, with time. With time, it will get easier. All right, guys. Well, listen, I appreciate you guys for tuning in to the Mahogany Bronze Hour. I will see you next time.
This right here, tell me what goes out to everyone that has lost someone that they truly love. Come on, check it out. Seems like yesterday we used to rock the show. I laced the track, you locked the flow. So far from hanging on the block for dough. Notorious, they got to know that life ain't always what it seemed to be. Words can't express what you mean to me. Even though you're gone, we still a team. Through your family, I'll fulfill your dreams. In the future, can't wait to see if you open up the gates for me. Reminisce sometime. The night they took my friend. Try to black it out, but it plays again. When it's real, feeling's hard to conceal. Can't imagine all the pain I feel. Give anything to hear half your breath. I know you're still living your life after death. Us while we pray for you. Every day we pray for you. Till the day we meet again. In my heart is where I keep you, friend. Memories give me the strength I need to proceed. Strength I need to believe. My thoughts big, I just can't define. Wish I could turn back the hands of time. Us in the six, shop for new clothes and kicks. You and me taking flicks, making hits, stages they receive you on. Still can't believe you're gone. Give anything to hear half your breath. I know you're still living your life after death.
Thank you all so much for tuning in to the broadcast today. I just want to say to the family and friends of Tyreek Finkley, we love him. We love him very much. His memory will always be in our hearts. And I just hope that this video will give you some kind of comfort in knowing that everyone loved him so much. May God bless you and keep you. I love you all. Hi, my name is Ella, and I'm the host of the Mahogany Bronze Hour. Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on DJ Pun's Underground Radio. Tune in.
Mahogany Brown, yeah, I seen you around. I seen you around.